Hey there, it's time to demo the smoothie for perimenopause and beyond, post-menopause as well. Now, if you know us, you know that Jordan and I love a good smoothie. We have one in summer every morning for breakfast without fail. And in the cooler months, we usually do too. But if it's really cold, sometimes I'll save my smoothie for lunchtime. To us, it is the fastest, most convenient, most delicious way to get so much of what we need into us in a really realistic way every day. And is more bioavailable too. The blender helps with that. I particularly love designing smoothies that really target specific health goals. And we have coached more than 20,000 people on how to do just that in the Super Smoothies boot camp. And you are so welcome to go through that boot camp. It's free. You just go along to our website homepage and you can sign up there. And for a long time now, we've had requests flowing in to design a smoothie that supports women through perimenopause and postmenopause. And we've finally done it. I tuned in to specialists from around the world to discover which nutrients are required to support the very specific organs and pathways in our bodies for this very particular stage of life. That, by the way, we're going to be in for about a third of our life. And as with all of our smoothies, it's always approved by a team of health professionals to make sure that it's actually functional. Functional means that it's doing what it's meant to do. It's reducing our risk of the associated health diseases and it's bolstering our health generally. This week, we've covered a lot of nutrients that us women can benefit from in this stage of life. Let's see how we go smushing as many of those as we can into one easy meal, shall we? Every smoothie has three main parts. You've got your liquid, your fruit and veg, and your boosters. Now, let's start with liquid. And of course, the liquid that we're going to go with for a perimenopause smoothie is soy milk. Soy milk is incredibly rich in phytoestrogens, which are adaptogenic in that they will block your estrogen if it's too high and mimic your estrogen if it's too low, which works really beautifully to balance out those hormones and reduce the symptoms that we can experience in perimenopause, like night sweats, hot flushes, headaches, heavy periods in the early stage. It goes on, right? Now, according to Dr. Funk, 2 cups of soy milk in your smoothie every day qualifies for her daily recommended servings of phytoestrogens, equivalent to anti-estrogen drugs that she prescribes to her patients, and also drastically slashing your risk of breast cancer. Massive tick right there. Now, it's also a really good source of choline, good fats, magnesium, and glycine. And all of those things will support brain health and brain function, which is always a plus in that stage of life. Uninterrupted sleep, progesterone production, which helps to balance things out too. So, this has a lot of things going for it. Now, a little bit of a hack for getting your 2 cups. Instead of having to guess or get your measuring cup out, grab your blender and a little Nico pen, if you're game, and just draw a little line there where the 2 cup measurement is, or 500 mils. And then you don't have to worry. You can just pour it in and know exactly when to stop. Let's move on to the veggies now. Do you remember how awesome cruciferous veggies are? And think about how often you eat them. Maybe not that often. Well, we have not just one and not just two, but 4 cruciferous veggies going into this smoothie. We've got kale, we've got broccoli, cauliflower, we've got maca powder, which comes from the maca root. And lastly, we've got broccoli sprout powder, which is broccoli sprouts dehydrated and crushed into a powder. So we're going to add the 2 fresh veggies in the smoothie first, and then we'll add the powders later on. Now, here's a reminder why cruciferous veggies are so amazing. Number one, cruciferous veggies are now being recognized as a mainstream strategy to prevent breast cancer, showcasing the power of nutrition to fight cancer. 2, they also help us clear out our old spent excess estrogen by 1, amping up phase 2 of our liver detoxification by literally transforming a toxic substance of estrogen into a nice, safe, easy to excrete estrogen. And also, it helps us create bile, which is a necessary component of phase 3 detoxification in the liver, where our liver gets the estrogen ready to excrete out of our body through our stool. Now, all cruciferous veggies are amazing, but before we put the cauliflower in the blender, let me tell you some unique things about it. Number one, it is ridiculously high in choline. It's fantastic for our brain function. So think anything neurological, we want plenty of choline for, even mood stability. So all of those things kind of been compromised when we're in perimenopause. Now, also, cauliflower helps us make a substance that helps clean up the liver. So that's an awesome thing because it helps us balance out those hormones. 3, it supports the gut microbiome because it's got heaps of great fiber in it, which helps us ditch estrogen. And it's got lots of vitamins and minerals contributing to lots of benefits in perimenopause and less symptoms, as we discussed this week. Finally, it is angiogenic. And so, therefore, it helps us have more blood flow through our entire body. And that helps with brain fog, fatigue, and also the chances of us getting any of those associated health risks that we spoke about yesterday because of our dysregulated hormones. It helps with hot flushes and night sweats because adequate blood supply means better thermoregulation. And our risk of osteoporosis due to better better blood supply to the bones, skin elasticity, since we're losing estrogen. There is so much goodness in this cauliflower. I hope you're buying one every week. Now, the most convenient way that I know how to keep cauliflower ready to go to put in your smoothie is actually to steam it, puree it, and then freeze it in these ice block molds. And all you have to do is pop one of these, which is 1/4 of a cup, a whole serve of cauliflower, into your blender. Now, don't for a second think that that's overwhelming. The way that I do it is that when I come home from food shopping, I don't ever put that cauliflower away in the fridge. I will chop it up in like 8 big chunky pieces, just chop, 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 chop. Don't even take the leaves off. And I just steam it in my saucepan and it just sits there cooking while I'm putting the rest of the shopping away. And within a few minutes, it's ready to take off the heat. And I just tip the whole thing into the food processor, water and all, give it a whiz, and then throw it in these in the freezer. Takes about 5 minutes of active time, no joke. And then I just rinse out the saucepan straight away. Don't even have to wash it, just give it a rinse and put it on the side. It's super easy. Don't let that part stop you. Kale, aside from all the awesome benefits of being a cruciferous veg, it's also fantastic because it's rich in vitamin B6, which we know is fantastic for our stress response and for our brain function. If we're having difficulty concentrating or we're having difficulty remembering things and we're having mood swings, vitamin B6 in our kale is a fantastic choice. It is nutrient dense. It has got calcium, vitamin K, and magnesium. We're going to touch on that stuff later. But suffice to say right now that it is really well placed to help reduce our chances of bone breakages due to that drop in estrogen in late stage perimenopause. And it is loaded with antioxidants that help reduce inflammation. And as we know in perimenopause, that inflammation can exacerbate joint pain and also contribute to heart disease. And actually, while we're on heart disease, kale can help to lower bad cholesterol and improve blood pressure, both reducing our chances of heart disease. It's also a great source of fiber, so it's going to help us ditch that excess estrogen through our stools and promote a rocking gut microbiome. And lastly, for our skin, it is loaded with vitamin C and vitamin A, which are both fantastic for collagen production and skin cell regeneration and elasticity, which we all know is compromised once we reach perimenopause. In it go. Let's move on to our fruit, starting with the banana. Now, bananas are an absolute hero for B6 that we've just spoken about. Also, potassium for blood pressure regulation, therefore reduced risk of heart disease. It contains tryptophan, which our body somehow miraculously just turns into our neurotransmitter serotonin, which is our feel-good one to help us improve our mood. And that combination of those last two have a wonderful effect on our stress response and anxiety, which is commonly high in perimenopause. And it has a steady energy release, helping out those women who are feeling fatigued or lacking in energy. It's also got great fiber to help us ditch that estrogen again and nurturing a great gut microbiome. It's awesome for magnesium to help us sleep without interruption from those hot flushes and night sweats. Prebiotics for gut health. And lastly, it is angiogenic for great circulation and blood supply to bones and organs, as I just mentioned. Blueberries. Woo! Where do we start here? Isn't it awesome when science discovers that our favorite, most delicious foods are actually phenomenal for us? That's the case with blueberries. They're actually termed brain berries because of the way that they've been found to decrease our risk of depression and improve our mood and our brain function. Blueberries have been shown in studies to actually measurably improve that. So they're also loaded, like kale, with antioxidants, which are going to help with that inflammation that we can have more of in perimenopause. Vitamin K for stronger bones, and then low GI. So for those women who are seeking a more healthy response to insulin, it's going to help you there. They're also phytoestrogenic, not as much as soy and flax, but it's there. And vitamin C, again, for our skin health and our immunity. Oh, and they've got great fiber too. So it helps us ditch that excess estrogen through our stools again. So in we go with half a cup of blueberries. You can do more. I usually do more, but half a cup is all you need into your smoothie. Right. Now that we've got our base taken care of, which is our liquid, our fruit, and our veg, now it's time to move on to our equally as exciting smoothie booster blend. Also, carefully crafted for women going through perimenopause and who are postmenopausal. Now, today I'm using my done for you, tried and tested, health professional approved PeriMeno Smoothie Booster Blend, which you can order from us. If that's not for you, then you can play around with what you like at home. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 spoons of my blend, and I'm done. But let me walk you through it. Now, we know that we want phytoestrogens, right? We've already got it in the soy, but also the other hero of phytoestrogens is flax. So we're going to put a serve of flax in there. And remember, that's going to either block the estrogen or mimic it, depending on what your levels are doing. Now, we know that we want B6 in our smoothie. We know that it helps with brain function and mood regulation and mental health. So we have chia seed as our main hero when it comes to B6 in the smoothie. But we also have 3 others. We've got quinoa. I use quinoa flakes in a smoothie. Unless I've got cooked quinoa in the fridge, sometimes I'll throw that in. Sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, and rolled oats. This smoothie does contain a whole serve of whole grains. How good is that? Next up, we've got all those beautiful fats that we want to include into our diet regularly. Do you remember why? It's to help produce extra progesterone. It's to help our cells be able to talk to hormones when they come visit. And it's to reduce our bad cholesterol, increase our good cholesterol, reduce our inflammation, help our skin. It goes on and on. So the foods that we have for our good fats are some revisiting ones. We've got flax, we've got chia again, we've got hemp seeds and sunflower seeds, and our new addition to the smoothie is Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are amazing for a whole bunch of reasons. They're also fantastic at helping us produce bile. And we need that to ditch the estrogen out of our system in phase 3 of our liver detoxification. Collagen is the other one that helps us produce bile as well. Now, we know that we want magnesium in bountiful supply in our perimenopause years because it's going to help us produce a neurotransmitter called serotonin, which also helps us produce melatonin. And together, they help us sleep better, they help us feel better, they help us have less anxiety, less mood swings, and it's pretty awesome stuff. So I've already shown you all the ingredients that are a great source of magnesium, but just quickly, they're flax, oats, quinoa, chia, hemp, sunflower seeds, and Brazil nuts. So make sure you're smashing them in your smoothie as well. And now we get to protein. Sometimes we think that we need to get protein from meat or soy product and not much else. But I'm here to tell you that there's actually a nice amount of protein in this smoothie. Yes, we do end up adding some collagen for all its wonderful benefits, but there's a good amount of protein in some of these plant based foods. We've got flax, oats, quinoa, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and sunflower seeds. All of those combined contribute their little bit of protein, and it creates a nice little supply for us. And so we want protein in perimenopause because we know that we're going to lose muscle mass. We know that it helps with brain function, it helps with satiety, and also a better response to insulin. So we want to have a good, nice supply of protein, and we've achieved that through these foods here. Next up is fiber. And oh my goodness, do we want fiber? Now, you know that I'm a big lover of fiber. If you've maybe done our free fiber challenge, again, that's another one that you can go to our homepage and sign up for. But fiber is going to help us ditch that excess estrogen. It's going to nurture our gut. It's going to help reduce those perimenopausal symptoms because we're getting rid of all that estrogen. And it's going to help with our better mood and brain function and immunity. Oh, the list goes on. So with fiber, we've got our fruit and veg, of course, but also a lot of these ingredients. We've got flax and oats and quinoa again and hemp seeds. And we've got both soluble and insoluble fiber in here as well for double the benefits. All of the carbohydrates in this smoothie are complex carbohydrates. We've got the rolled oats in their whole form. We've got rolled quinoa in the form of quinoa flakes. And we've got the fruit and the veg and the whole seeds and all these delicious things pulled together. We don't need to be having any simple carbohydrates in this beautiful smoothie. And that's going to help us with a beautiful response to insulin. We'll be insulin sensitive rather than insulin resistant, which will help us have greater health in general, but also reduce our chances of type 2 diabetes and weight gain during that stage of life. Antioxidants is just another awesome thing that we want to have in our smoothie. And so we've spoken about how great it is for reducing inflammation, which is a very topical thing that we need to look at that stage of life. And again, flax seeds are loaded with antioxidants. They are brimming with them. We've also got oats and quinoa, chia, hemp, and sunflower seeds. Can you see the duplication starting to happen? When we reach for these real whole foods, they deliver in ample supply. We want calcium in our smoothie for two reasons. Do you remember? Pop quiz time. We want calcium in our smoothie because it's going to help strengthen our bones. When we get into late stage perimenopause and our estrogen drops, our bones can become weaker and more susceptible to breakage, and even osteoporosis can set in. So we want to keep our bones strong. And also, calcium helps to produce progesterone, which is going to have that hormone balancing effect again. So our sources of calcium are oats, quinoa, and chia seeds. If you're in early stage perimenopause with heavy periods, you're going to want to be upping your iron intake. And we're going to help do that in this smoothie by the addition of hemp seeds. And we've got a variation on this smoothie base recipe that involves cacao powder. And that's going to be a great addition of iron into your diet as well. We want tryptophan for greater mood stability, for better uninterrupted sleep. And the tryptophan in our smoothie is both in the banana, but also in our chia seeds. They're a fantastic source, and chia seeds just keep on delivering, don't they? Now, when it comes to heart disease for women in this stage of life, we know that there's an increased risk. So we've already addressed lots of ways that we can reduce that risk, but sunflower seeds, where are they, is another great way that we can do that. They're a rich source of vitamin E that helps with cholesterol in multiple ways that I won't waste time going into. But we want to be reaching for these types of foods that are functional, that help support our system. We want selenium in our diet because that really is fantastic at helping protect our liver. It's like putting a guard in front of your liver to help protect it from dangerous substances that can get thrown at it. It also helps produce glutathione for reducing inflammation again. And one of the richest sources of selenium is Brazil nuts. So again, that's another reason that we've included Brazil nuts into your PeriMeno smoothie. I do get excited about this one. Broccoli sprout powder. Now, I know that you might be like, broccoli sprout powder? But we've carefully designed the base recipes. There's two, there's a chocolate one and a blueberry banana one that we're making right now that really nicely disguise the flavor of the broccoli sprout powder. Now, broccoli sprout powder is incredibly high in that active component called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is responsible for the fantastic anti-cancer properties that broccoli sprouts have. Now, there is 10 times more sulforaphane in broccoli sprouts than there is in fresh broccoli. And once you dehydrate and gently crush broccoli sprouts into a powder, 1 teaspoon of powder represents 10 teaspoons of real fresh broccoli sprouts. And so not only are you getting 10 times more sulforaphane in your broccoli sprouts, you're getting 10 times more again because you're having it in a powder form in such a small amount. So a small amount goes a long way when it comes to broccoli sprout powder. Studies show that the vast majority of nutrients are maintained in the broccoli sprout powder when you dehydrate the fresh sprouts and crush it into a powder. But you've got to make sure that the temperature is nice and low and that things are kept nice and fresh. And ideally, you want to get a high quality biodynamic or organic broccoli sprout that gets turned into the powder. So you want to make sure you're reaching for a great brand. We did a lot of research before deciding which brand to go with for our PeriMeno blend. And remember, they're also angiogenic. And so again, we're getting this fantastic blood supply around our body and helping our bones and our organs. Oh, it's just amazing. Now, remember I said that we were going to add collagen into our blend. Now, let me tell you why. Collagen is incredibly rich in something called glycine, which we need because our bones lose strength as our estrogen decreases in later stage perimenopause. So we want to prepare for that. We want to keep our bones strong. So by having a serve of collagen, which is the easier, also the most potent way to get glycine in, even above meat and above bone broth, collagen is miles ahead. So getting glycine into your smoothie is fantastic. So let's put the collagen in. But also studies have shown that those who take just even 5 grams of collagen a day had significantly better bone mineral density than those who had a placebo powder. So there is science backing up all these things that I'm saying. And it's just so wise for us to start reaching for those supportive foods that we know are going to help us in this stage of life. Now, remember also that collagen is almost 100% protein. And so as we're losing muscle mass as well, it's going to help us to regain that strength as we're exercising. And of course, collagen's pretty famous for helping us put off those wrinkles a bit longer. It really helps with skin elasticity as well. So make sure you reach for your collagen. Now we've reached the last ingredient of our smoothie before we put the sweetener in and put the lid on and call it done. Now this is something that I get quite fired up about. It's an adaptogen and it's called maca powder. This was one of the key tools that I reached for when I was addressing my own hormone imbalance due to stress. And it's quite well founded now to be very good at balancing our hormones. Sometimes it's been used instead of hormone replacement therapy because it supports your ovaries to actually produce more hormones. But don't worry, remember it is an adaptogen. So it's only going to help your body produce the hormones that you actually need. It's phenomenal. Studies have shown that just 1 serve of maca powder a day can help with lots of areas in our mental well-being, including our mood and our energy, depression, anxiety, and cortisol, that stress response that loves to run through our veins. But it's also very well known to help with memory and learning, and also sexual function, including libido. Now, it is a cruciferous veg, believe it or not. And so all the reasons that we love cruciferous veg apply to maca powder as well. And it's high in calcium. And studies have shown that just 3 grams of maca powder a day for 12 weeks lowered blood pressure. My goodness, maca powder is worthy of shouting from the rooftops, I swear. So let's make sure we get that into our smoothie every day. The very last thing that we're going to add into our smoothie is actually the sweetener. Now, my go-to sweetener for smoothies, without doubt, is date paste. And it's so easy. You just buy the cheap old pitted dates, not the expensive medjool ones, and you put it in a jar like this, and then you fill it up with filtered water. That's it. You put the lid on and you let them soak until they become nice and soft. Now, if you're using it in something other than a smoothie, you could blend it up so that you can put it in pancakes or curries or whatever it is that you want to sweeten. But today I'm putting it in a smoothie, so I haven't even blended this one up. So you literally just going to scoop two of these out. This is half water, half dates. So that's the equivalent of 1 tablespoon of date. And then we're going to put the lid on and blend it. We are done. You can probably see now why so many people love to order their smoothie booster blends from us because that's a lot of ingredients. And we used to do that. We used to walk over to the pantry, get out the 15 jars, and one by one put them in. Those were the old days. Now we actually have the blends. They are done for you. They're tried and tested and approved by health professionals to make sure that they're actually functional with proper dosages of each of the foods in there that actually do what we want them to do. And it just makes life easy. So you're literally putting the liquid in, putting the fruit and veg in, and the blend. It is a 1 minute done job for breakfast. All right, here we go. Now, I've sat there explaining this to you for a long time. Usually, that smoothie is going to, like I said, take you just a jiffy. Do you see that color? Those blueberries are phenomenal. Yep. Just as good as last time. If there is one thing that we know about gut health, aside from that it helps reduce our perimenopause symptoms, is that it's the diversity of food that we eat that is the biggest predictor of rocking gut health. This smoothie right here boasts 15 different types of plant fibers. I cannot think of another breakfast that is as quick to put together as that one that includes that much diversity. And when you look at what's in this smoothie, every day you're getting a whole serve of whole grains, a whole serve of broccoli sprout, more than 30 grams of mixed seeds. You're getting a whole serve of maca powder and a whole serve of collagen powder. And you're getting all of those fruits and veggies in as well, all contributing to improved hormonal balance, brain function, mental and emotional and sexual health, cellular health, liver detoxification and cancer fighting capacities, muscle and bone and skin integrity, all while reducing inflammation and bad cholesterol levels and enhancing overall health. It is insane the amount of goodness that we can give ourselves just by reaching for a delicious and easy smoothie. It blows my mind why everyone's not doing it. And now to close, I want to show you a visual. In 1 week, if you have this smoothie every day for 1 week, this is how much goodness you're going to eat. Half a head of cauliflower, 3.5 cups of kale, a bunch of broccoli sprouts, 3 cups of blueberries, 6 bananas, more than a cup of nuts and seeds. This is incredible. Look at that goodness. I love seeing that. It makes me light up and I feel fantastic when I have it. When I skip one of these smoothies, I will feel it for the day. My body is yelling at me. My body is craving it, saying, come on, give me that smoothie. I just know that you're going to feel the same if you implement this regularly, get your body used to it, and see how you feel. Treat it like an experiment. Whether you do that through us or whether you have a play at home, I want to hear from you. I want to hear how your experiments go. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what difference in the symptoms you're experiencing. This stuff is so exciting to me, and I hope it is to you too. I hope you've enjoyed this week together, that you've learned a whole bunch, and that you can now feel empowered as you march down the road toward perimenopause and greet her like a long lost friend. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you soon.